Welcome to Good Grief Mama. I'm Allie, wife and mom of 3, and this is a podcast for honest conversations about motherhood and marriage and homeschooling and homemaking. So if you've ever felt called to do motherhood and marriage just a little differently, or if you've ever wondered, why is no one talking about this? Then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you're here. This episode is sponsored by Restore Your Core Physical Therapy. Mamas, whether you're pregnant, postpartum, or your kids are in college, your body deserves some TLC. The doctors at Restore Your Core Physical Therapy get it. From pelvic floor therapy and birth prep to fixing that back pain you've been ignoring for way too long, they've got you covered. With locations in Carmel, West Carmel, Zionsville, and Greenwood, expert care is close by. Visit restoreyourcorept.com or call 317-597-6323. Make sure you mention the Good Grief Mama podcast for $50 off a 90-minute evaluation or $25 off a 60-minute evaluation. You've been taking care of everyone else, and now it's your turn. All right, guys. So welcome back to Good Grief Mama. Before I jump into what will be the last installment of the Granny Ways series, I wanted to mention that this weekend I went and spoke at the Midwest Homeschool Expo. So if you were there, it was great to see you. Going to the Midwest Homeschool Expo, I've gone for 3 years now and I've spoken twice, and I have always found something that I take away with me that I really enjoy. And the person who puts it on, her name is Jean. She runs Academy of Chaos. She does a great job putting it on every year. And there are always people who walk away changed because of it. And this year I did a presentation or a session on starting a co-op, a homeschool co-op. And somebody had pulled me aside afterward and was talking to me about how, the information we were talking about was really helpful for her and inspiring for her to kind of shift the group that she had already started that kind of ended up turning out kind of not what she wanted it to be. And she was excited to go back and to change it into what she does want it to be. And so that's great. And I love speaking. I think that that is something that God has gifted me with. And I used to do a lot of it before when I was in the working field. I was a trainer in human resources at 2 different companies since I got married and moved to Georgia. I was in 2 different companies there and I did training for both of them. And so I would train the people that worked for us in behavior training because we worked with adults with disabilities. And some of them had severe behaviors. I taught CPR and first aid and all the stuff that you get taught when you're a new hire. And I loved it. And so while I don't miss going to work and I don't miss teaching the same thing, you know, every single month, I do miss speaking. And so in some way, somehow, I feel like that might come back in my life and I will welcome it with open arms when it does. But anyway, so it was great. And I would highly encourage that you look for the Midwest Homeschool Expo, that you follow Academy of Chaos. Her name's Jean, but her tag on stuff is Academy of Chaos because she does some great stuff. And you will definitely want to be in the loop for next year's Midwest Homeschool Expo. But today, we're jumping back into the very last in our Granny Ways series. And so I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I've just felt this strange pull to slow down. And I've seen it in many different aspects of my life. And one of the ones that I haven't talked about yet is our homes. And the shift, I guess, in my mind from a quote unquote Pinterest worthy home or a Pinterest perfect home. And it just has felt recently like our homes and our decor are starting to feel just too perfect. There's not very much character anymore. It is all looking the same. Which honestly, as a side note, I feel like people's faces are all starting to look the same too, with the Botox and the fillers and all the things. It's the hair extensions, and it's everybody's starting to kind of look a little similar too. But as far as it goes with our homes, I feel like our homes are all looking very, very similar. And I feel like this is about our identity, our home culture, right? The feeling that you get when you come into my home. And I have always wanted it to be, even when we lived in an apartment, when we first got married, I wanted it to be a place that people felt comfortable and welcome. That's why when we first got an apartment, when we first got married, we spent like $1,200, which was a lot for us back then, on a big couch so that we would have enough seating in our little one-bedroom apartment to host people and to host a small group and to have people over. And that was important to us. So we spent money on a couch because it was important to us for people to feel comfortable. But I used to want everything matching and like tidy, and obviously tidy is a good thing, but like matching and neutral. And I don't know, I had a lot of those pictures that had words and sayings on them around our house. And now I just don't. I feel like my old standard was more, and I feel like a lot of the standards nowadays are more like minimalist, very aesthetically pretty, very like curated homes. And like they look like nobody lives in them. And they have all matching glasses and all the Hobby Lobby inspirational quotes scripted, on the pictures that they hang up. And especially like Instagram influencers and stuff, they have beautiful, new, and expensive stuff everywhere. And it's like their rooms and their houses, they look like they're in magazines. And it's like, wow, that's a beautiful home. But like, you have 4 kids. Like, how do you do that? And I too, like, I wanted things to be matching and to have like neutral pillows and rugs. And, we didn't have a whole lot of like splashes of color anywhere. And lately I've had this shift. I've shifted a pull towards like, the picture of the Home Alone house, right? Where they have like all these random wallpapers on the wall and bright colored rugs and like little knickknackies everywhere. And while I don't necessarily want more clutter, I have wanted to put more things in my house that make me happy, make me smile, or have meaning to me. Like it's not just pretty. I want it to be something that has meaning to me. And it's not so much as like, okay, when we got married, I wanted everything matching. So, like, all of our plates matched. We had 4 mugs. They all were brown and they all were the same mug. And, we had all the same glasses. And, I would kind of stress out a little bit if we had these cups from like, you get like a pizza delivered or something, or you would go to like, I don't know, some kind of event where they had booths, and they were giving me free stuff. And they'd give you like a free cup. It's like one of those plastic ones with their logos on it. And it'd be like, well, let's keep that. Yeah. But then we look in our cabinet, I'm like, oh, it doesn't match. Like, so I'd have like one little stack of those like mismatched cups. And I'd be like, every time I'd open it up, I'd be like, it's not matching. Or, for my bowls, I wanted all matching bowls. Like all of them needed to be a neutral color, whatever. And if we got one popcorn bowl at Christmas time in our little white elephant exchange that was red, that doesn't match. Now, though, I have been wanting more mismatched stuff, and not just to be mismatched, but because I want something that has connection or meaning or just makes me happy. Like my sourdough. When I make sourdough, I have been on the hunt. So if anybody knows or finds one, let me know. I've been on the hunt for a good bowl to make my sourdough in that's not too heavy, but is big enough to do 2 loaves of sourdough at once and has a design on the outside of the bowl that is pretty. And I would like it to be something that's like ceramic maybe, so it's not like not plastic. I did try wood, but wood I don't feel like works very well with the sourdough. Anyway, but like I want a bowl and I keep looking in stores and I keep seeing all these big white bowls. And I'm like, that's great, but I don't want a white bowl. Like I want lemons on the outside of it or flowers or something, some kind of design on the outside. And a lot of them have designs on the inside. And it's like, but that's where my food is going to go. I can't see the design. But anyway, I want mismatchy, beautiful things, things that my kids would want to one day be like, oh, that was mom's bowl that she made the sourdough in. And it's not plastic and cheap, so it's not breaking. And so it's actually something, that could be passed down if they wanted it, which probably by the time that they actually would think about this, like me, I would have already thrown it out by then. But I want things that make me happy when I look at them, not just are functional. And that's gone the same with like my mugs. We don't really drink a lot of hot beverages in this house. Neither Nathan nor I make coffee at home. Like I don't like coffee. He drinks it every now and then, but he adds a lot of stuff to it. So like when he goes to Starbucks or whatever, it's like not just a coffee. It's like there's a bunch of iced stuff in it and vanillas and syrups and stuff. And so we don't drink hot coffee at home. I drink hot chocolate every now and then, and I drink tea every now and then, but not much. But anyway, I used to have those 4 brown mugs, and now I look at them and I'm like, "They're ugly." The only reason I had them is because they matched, and now I have mismatching mugs, and they make me happy. I have one with the Golden Girls on it that I actually got a matching one with Nicole because I think it's great, and we're like the Golden Girls. We're gonna be friends forever until we're super old, and although another side note, I think in that show, aren't they, like, in their 50s? So they're not gosh, that's like 15 years from now. I'm still gonna say they're super old. But, I want things that have meaning. Same with my decor. Like, I had a bunch of the, scripty sayings. A lot of them were Bible verses, and that was a lot of what my quote unquote artwork was. It was like Hobby Lobby scripted saying pictures. And now I don't want that. Like, a couple of them I really still do like, so I'll keep those because I like them, but I want more meaning and I want beauty. And so I have been paying attention to different paintings and stuff when we're out. It's not like I'm gonna be an art curator and buy very expensive paintings, but, like, I've been paying more attention to be like, "I really think that's beautiful." Like, when we go to TJ Maxx, especially, like Home Goods, I'll flip through their pictures and I'll be like, "Ooh, I really like that." I got some really pretty flower pictures for Parker's room, and some of them are like copies of, famous paintings like Monet and that kind of stuff, famous painters like Monet, and they're just beautiful. And I just threw them up all in her room. She's got like 4 or 5 different flower pictures in there, uh, pictures that have flowers in them. And I just randomly chose. I was like, I like them all. Where previously for like Paxton's room, I was like, oh, it needs to be like dinosaur themed. And so went to Hobby Lobby, and no shame on Hobby Lobby, but like I went to Hobby Lobby and I just picked out dinosaur stuff. It wasn't even like, oh, I really like this. This is cute. It's just like, no, I just want his room to be dinosaurs. So I picked all these dinosaur things. And with Peyton, I feel like I just went and picked random things at TJ Maxx, like that looked cute, but it wasn't something that I like loved, if that makes sense. So even with my decor, like I want to have artwork around the house. I want my kids to be exposed to artwork, even if it's copies of famous paintings. Like I want them to be able to look at it and go, wow, that makes me feel something rather than, oh, look, that's a, scripty thing that says family lives here, which again, we could totally still have. I want more older and like storied pieces around our homes, like things that are made of more quality and that will last. And even just like, okay, so our Christmas tree, I've even had an evolution with the Christmas tree. When we very first got married, Nathan was all about like, let's get personal ornaments and let's have a tree that's personal. And I wanted it all to be matching. I was like, no, 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 we're going to have matching ornaments. And so I went and bought like, I think it was like blue and white ornaments for like this tiny tree we had and like red and gold and silver ornaments for the tree, for our bigger tree. And it was all matching. And I was like, don't put anything on that tree that doesn't match. And over the years, he was ahead of me in this. Like he was ahead of me in times. Over the years, I've been like, I love the personal ornaments now. Like we take them out and every year our kids get to pick a new one. And so it's like, look, yeah, Paxi chose monster trucks like 2 years in a row, or you chose Pikachu. I think we've got like 3 Pikachus. So it's like, we get to talk about it and there's a story behind it. And maybe my kids won't want these ornaments when they're older. That's totally fine. But I like looking through them and I like talking about them. And I can just imagine now, like me as a grandma and having the kids come over for like cookies and to set up our tree and be like, yeah, this was your mom's or this was your dad's. And, here's this. And yeah, so the evolution of Christmas trees has kind of gone with this as well. I do still, every year I've had one tree that has been like a matchy tree, and then we have the one tree that has all the personal ones on it. But it's like, I like that now. Where before, again, I was going for all matching. And now it's like, no, I want the history. I want the pieces. Same thing even with just Christmas decor. My parents were getting rid of all of their Christmas stuff because they don't really decorate for Christmas anymore. And there were things that like my mom had gotten from her dad when he worked at like a bank. And it's like, wow, that's from like, the 60s or whatever. And it's like, how cool is that? Like, just think of like how many years this will last even longer. So things that have stories, things that are like have meaning to either me or my family, that's what I'm going for. I also have attempted and have failed to do yearly Shutterfly like yearbooks for our family. And I love the idea of it. And I hate sitting on the computer and picking pictures and trying to arrange them. creatively into a book on Shutterfly. And I don't like it when they do it for me because I don't like what their results are. And so I've only done a couple of years, but I want to do all of the years. And same with baby books. Oh my gosh, I still have not printed Peyton's baby book and she's 3. But I've decided this year, and actually my friend, you guys know her, Nicole. If you are a Good Grief Mama listener from more than just this year, she was my co-host for a long time. She told me, she goes, maybe you should go back to real scrapbooking. She was like, because you want the pictures, you want to make scrapbooks. And she goes, but you don't like the technology of it. You're more creative. And I was just like, why have I never thought of this before? So I'm going to do that. And I will let you guys know how it goes. I'll put it in my stories because I have already the pictures saved in a file that I'm going to send to CVS and print. I have everything saved in my Amazon cart. So I'm waiting for the night that I can do crafting, and I am going to scrapbook a yearbook. I think for 2023 is what I put in there, maybe 2024. But I'm excited about that. Back to the old scrapbooking where it's random pieces of stuff and you get to stick, you get to glue in the baby hospital tag and all the things. That's what I want. So I feel like this is more, again, just kind of like everything. This is everything in this series, at least. It's more than just, I want my home to be decorated differently. I feel like the shift is going from impressing people with my home necessarily to living in my home, from functional things to purposeful things, right? From trendy to more timeless, things that will last us. And I don't want it to look like everyone else's home. I don't want it to look like, the people walk in and they're like, oh yeah, I have that. Oh yeah, we did this. And I've done that at home. So I've been like, oh, we have that, I want it to look like us. I want someone to walk in and go, yep, this is Allie and Nathan's home. And I think that there's a deeper emotional level to this too. More I want how my house, I want it to feel. I want my home to feel warm. I want it to feel lived in. I want it to feel safe, not like you're walking on eggshells, trying to avoid breaking something or trying to avoid ruining the carpets or not that I want you to come in and just toss stuff around my house, but I want it to feel like a comfy house. Even the couch, our couch is apparently very important to me because it was very important at the beginning of marriage. And the couch we have now is so comfortable, so soft. Come on over, sit on the couch because you will just sink into it. In fact, it's actually dangerous because I have many a times had the intention to clean or to be productive during the kids' quiet time / nap. And I'll sit on the couch for just a minute and I'll just get sucked in. And then I'm there for the whole quiet time. And then when they wake up, I'm like, dang it, I did nothing but sit on this couch because it's so comfortable. But I want my kids to remember the feeling of our house, and I want that to continue. And so that has started this shift away from a Pinterest perfect home, which I am going to say I have never achieved a Pinterest perfect home. But, the goal was always there, oh, it should be really pretty and it should be very decluttered. And again, I'm not wanting to clutter my house up, but not everything has to match. I want things to have meaning. I want things to have feeling. I want you to feel comfortable when you come in. And I also want you to be able to know a little bit about me when you come into my house. So this final episode about the Granny Way series is really about not wanting a perfect home. It's more about wanting a meaningful home. So if you are with me and you are ready to swap out some of those Hobby Lobby scripted saying writings, and if you're ready to toss in a colorful mug with your matchy mugs, then I want you to be following along. I want you to subscribe and rate and review wherever you're listening. I want you to share this with a friend, and I want you to sign up for my free weekly email newsletter so that you can get all of the ins and outs and the behind the scenes of what's going on here. You can get my mom hacks, my marriage questions of the week, all the good things. And I'll see you back next week.